In a small town in France, a young girl named Marie lost her sight. Darkness became her world, a frightening, endless void. But her father, a man whose love knew no bounds, refused to let her despair. He would sit with her for hours, guiding her small fingers across intricate wooden maps of their town. "The world is still yours, Marie," he'd whisper. "You just have to learn to see it in your own way." And so she did. Marie learned her town not with her eyes, but with her whole being. She learned the path to the bakery by the 78 cobblestones under her feet and the scent of warm bread. She knew the way to the fountain by the echo of splashing water and the chatter of pigeons. She didn't just navigate her world, she embraced it. Each sound, each texture, each scent was a note in the beautiful song of her life. She grew brave. She grew strong. She learned that sight was just one way to experience the world's incredible beauty. At the very same time, hundreds of miles away in Germany, a boy named Werner was discovering his own kind of magic. Werner was a prodigy with a brilliant mind, especially when it came to radios. He could coax life back into any broken receiver, pulling voices and music from the invisible waves that filled the air. His world was one of frequencies, circuits, and the endless wonder of science. He dreamt of studying the stars, of understanding the dance of electricity, of building things that would bring people closer together. But a dark cloud was gathering over Europe. War was on the horizon, and its shadow fell heavily on boys like Werner. The world didn't want builders or thinkers. It wanted soldiers. Despite his gentle nature and his thirst for knowledge, Werner was pushed onto a path he never chose. He was given a uniform, a rifle, and orders that clashed with everything he believed in. He was sent to a special school, his talent for radio twisted into a tool for warfare. He was still just a teenager, but he was forced to wear the mask of a soldier, feeling scared, confused, and trapped between his duty and his conscience. Years passed, and the war raged on. Werner's unit was sent to occupy a historic walled city by the sea, in France, the very same town where Marie lived. The city, once vibrant and full of life, was now a place of fear and rubble. The beautiful sounds Marie once knew were replaced by the drone of planes and the distant rumble of artillery. Werner walked through the broken streets, the destruction weighing heavily on his soul. He looked at the closed shutters and the empty squares and wondered, is this what I was born for? To shatter the peace of others, to be a part of this darkness. He felt a profound sense of loss, not just for the city, but for the boy he used to be. Meanwhile, Marie, now a young woman, held fast within the walls of her home. Though she couldn't see the soldiers in the streets or the damage to the buildings, she could feel the tension in the air. The silence was heavier, the familiar sounds of her town muted by fear. Yet she clung to the lessons her father had taught her. She remembered his words, "The world is still yours." She found solace in the small things, the feel of a seashell, the story in a Braille book, and the quiet courage that burned within her. Her heart, despite the encroaching darkness, remained a sanctuary of hope. She hadn't given up. One night, amidst the static and military codes crackling through his headset, Werner caught something different. It was a faint, clear signaler calm voice reading a story about science, about kindness, about holding on to the light even when you are surrounded by darkness. It was a voice of pure, undiluted humanity. Intrigued and strangely comforted, he used his skills not for war, but for curiosity. He triangulated the signal, tracing it through the bombarded streets to a tall, narrow house on the Rue Vaubéryl. He found Marie there. She was alone, broadcasting from an old radio hidden in the attic, sending messages of hope out into the ether, not knowing if anyone was listening. When Werner entered, he didn't see an enemy of the state. He saw a girl his own age, surrounded by books and shells, her face tilted towards the speaker, completely absorbed in her act of quiet defiance. And when Marie heard his footsteps, she didn't hear a menacing soldier. She heard the weary, hesitant breath of a boy who sounded lost and afraid, not hateful. In that small, dusty attic, time seemed to stand still. They were on opposite sides of a brutal war, yet in that moment they were just two young people caught in its unforgiving gears. They recognized the same light in each other, the shared human spirit that longed for peace, for beauty, for connection. Werner saw her bravery, and she sensed his gentleness. They understood that the uniforms we wear and the flags we serve do not define the truth of who we are inside. Werner made a choice. He didn't report her. Instead, in the brief time their paths crossed, he helped her. He protected her, not because he was ordered to, but because his heart told him it was the right thing to do. It was a small act of rebellion against the cruelty of his world. A decision to nurture a flicker of light rather than extinguish it. Their meeting was short, a fleeting moment of grace in a world gone mad, but it left an indelible mark on both of them. Marie survived the war, her spirit unbroken. She carried the memory of the kind German boy as proof that goodness can bloom in the most barren of landscapes. His unexpected compassion reinforced her belief in the enduring power of humanity. And Werner, though his own journey ended in tragedy, held onto that single act of kindness. In helping Marie, he had reconnected with the boy who loved to build, not destroy. In that one selfless choice, he found a moment of profound peace, a quiet redemption for his tormented soul. Their story teaches us something incredibly powerful. We all carry a light inside of us, a core of kindness, empathy, and hope. Life will inevitably present us with darkness, with confusion, with pressures that ask us to be less than who we are. But our true strength is measured in those moments. It's found in the choice to show compassion when we're expected to judge, to offer understanding when we're surrounded by conflict, and to hold on to hope when despair seems to be the only logical response. We may not always see the entire path ahead, but like Marie, we can learn to navigate by feel, by listening to our inner compass. And like Werner, we can realize that even the smallest act of kindness is never wasted. It can be a beacon, a signal that cuts through the static, lighting the way not just for ourselves, but for someone else lost in the dark. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more content that explores the light we all carry. Stay kind and stay hopeful.